Hello, I'm Ron Strickland. This webcast is one of a series in which I'm presenting some brief lectures and commentaries on topics from the courses I teach in literature and cultural studies. This particular episode is on William Shakespeare's play, Othello, the Moor of Venice. So, back to Othello. First, the play is as much about Iago as it is about Othello. Iago speaks many more lines in the play than Othello does. He's on stage and foregrounded more than Othello is himself. But first thing to say is that Iago functions as a surrogate dramatist, as I spoke of a moment ago. He's directing the actions. He's manipulating other characters all through the play, ostensibly to achieve his end of getting revenge because he wasn't promoted to lieutenant, but maybe just because it's fun to screw with people. He gets pleasure out of manipulating other people. So he manipulates Rodrigo, taking money from Rodrigo and promising him that he will get access to Desdemona for Rodrigo. So the play opens with Rodrigo angry at Iago because Iago knows that Desdemona has eloped with Othello, and Rodrigo is saying, how do you know this? I didn't even know it, and you're supposed to be looking out for my interests. So we already know that Iago is manipulating Rodrigo. But he also, in that first scene, stages a dramatic presentation, really, for Brabantio. So we've got a sort of a little play within the play, where he and Rodrigo will be causing a disturbance outside Brabantio's window and staging a play, really, for Desdemona's father. Well, Act 1, Scene 3, then, Brabantio tries to stage a scene. But things spin out of control because, unlike Iago, Brabantio doesn't have control of all the characters. When Desdemona is called in, instead of delivering her lines as Brabantio expects her to deliver them, and saying, I must have been beguiled. Instead, she says, well, yes, I love Othello, and I'm married to him, and I'm sorry, Father, that's the way it is. So it spins out of control, and we have immediately this contrast between Iago's successful stage management as a kind of a surrogate director and Brabantio's unsuccessful attempt to do something like the same thing. And at the end of that scene, then, only Iago and Rodrigo are left on stage. That's Act 1, Scene 3. And Rodrigo is despondent after hearing Desdemona proclaim her love for Othello. Rodrigo talks of suicide, but Iago talks him out of it, but not because he's a nice person and wants to prevent someone from committing suicide. He wants to keep Rodrigo alive because he wants to keep getting money from Rodrigo. Rodrigo keeps saying, I don't know what to do, I'm in despair. And Iago keeps saying, don't worry, don't be such a sap, don't be so weepy, put money in your purse, again and again. And Rodrigo exits finally, proclaiming, I'll sell all my lands. And Iago concludes that scene and Act 1 by saying to the audience, thus do I ever make my fool my purse. You could stage that as Iago kind of looking off into the distance and musing to himself as though he's thinking out loud, or we're hearing thoughts that he has that he's not saying. I prefer to see it done where he turns to the audience and says, hey, see what I'm doing? You're in this with me, you're complicit. And I'll just mention that in doing this, Shakespeare is also alluding to a standard feature of medieval morality plays. These were plays that preceded Shakespeare's time. Sometimes the character would be a demon or a devil, and typically the demon or the devil would stop to tell the audience what he was doing. I'm leading every man into sin. I'm going to trick every man. I'm going to tempt him, and he's going to succumb to my blandishments and fall into sin because I'm the devil, and that's what the devil does. Act 2, Scene 3, we see Iago stage managing another character, and that's Cassio. Iago happens to know that Cassio can't hold his liquor and that he likes to fight when he is drinking, and so he cajoles Cassio into joining the rebels to celebrate the so-called victory over the Turks. Cassio gets drunk, and before you know it, he's gotten into a fight with someone. Iago has managed all that to happen. Then, when Cassio gets arrested, Iago pretends to be on his side and says, "Don't worry, I'll get you out of this." Then Acts 3, Scene 1, next scene, Iago offers to help Cassio get to Desdemona. He's going to encourage Desdemona through his wife Emilia to intercede with Othello just to get pardon and reinstatement for Cassio. Although, now he's going to present that whole scenario to Othello, not as just Desdemona's attempt to help Cassio get the job back, but as Desdemona's true sexual attraction for Cassio. So in Act 3, Scene 3, Desdemona tries to influence Othello on Cassio's behalf. But after she and Emilia leaves, Iago and Othello are left alone, and Iago begins to insinuate that Desdemona and Cassio are having an affair. Throughout the play, he's pretending to be everyone's faithful friend, but in fact, as he says in Act 1, Scene 1, he serves no one but himself. So Desdemona tries to influence him. At the end of Act 3, Scene 3, Iago has influenced Othello against his wife to the point, and we'll watch this in a moment, that Othello vows revenge against Desdemona. So Iago has, as a surrogate dramatist, he has directed Othello to this conclusion. And at the end of that act, Othello says, "Damn her, lewd minx, damn her, damn her. Come, go with me apart. I will withdraw to furnish me with some swift means of death for the fair devil. Now art thou my lieutenant." And Iago says, "I am your own forever." So it's a richly complex kind of double meaning. When Othello says, "Now thou art my lieutenant," and Iago responds, "I am your own forever," there's a kind of ironic allusion to the promotion that Cassio got and that Iago was passed over for from the beginning of the play. Only now Othello has enlisted the aid of a demon for a lieutenant. He has put himself in league with the devil, and he has set himself on an evil mission. Act 4 begins with a surveillance scene. Iago positions Othello to hide and watch while he engages Cassio in a conversation. He suggests to Othello that he's going to draw Cassio out to make incriminating statements about his relationship with Desdemona. Instead, he positions Othello far enough away that he can't hear exactly what they're talking about. And he goes to Cassio and starts joking around with him about having sex with Bianca, the prostitute, the courtesan. Othello is far enough away that all he sees is Iago and Cassio joking about having sex with a woman. He doesn't know that they're joking about Cassio and Bianca. He thinks they're talking about Cassio and Desdemona. After that, in the next scene, Othello accuses Desdemona of unfaithfulness vaguely. He doesn't get very specific about it, and she has no idea what he's talking about. There's a metadramatic element to that as well, insofar as the metadramatic criticism is concerned with the problems of communication and interpretation, with really understanding what someone is saying to you when they're saying it, and communicating that, of course, on stage. Then, no longer in need of Rodrigo or Cassio, Iago prompts Rodrigo to attempt to murder Cassio. And Rodrigo tries to kill Cassio. He only injures him, and other people arrive on the scene. And so then Iago pretends to come to Cassio's rescue, and he stabs and kills Rodrigo, getting him out of the way. So he'll be unavailable to testify against Iago. And in Act 5, Scene 2, driven into a frenzy of jealousy, Othello kills his wife, Desdemona, under the false assumption that she has been unfaithful to him. Then, at the end of the play, Act 5, Scene 3, Emilia, Iago's wife, and Desdemona's maid comes in and discovers the dying Desdemona And she unravels the plot, and Othello faces death in grief and maybe evoking pity, but looking also rather foolish. All the way through, the real interesting key, one of the real interesting keys, is not only how immoral Iago is, how motiveless his malignity is, but also how skillful he is at tricking other characters, deceiving other characters with dramatic and communicative methods. On that note, I'll conclude this webcast. But as always, if you have questions or comments, send me an email.